I don't think I ever showed you this. This is my special safari jacket. And just in case I get lost, there's a map of Africa on the inside.
Diamonds are forever. They are all I need to please me. They can stimulate and tease me. They won't leave in the night. I've no fear that they might desert me. Diamonds are forever. Hold one up and then caress it. Touch it, stroke it and undress it. I can see every part, nothing hides in the heart to hurt me. I don't need love, for what good will love do me? Diamonds never lie to me, for when love's gone, they'll last on. Diamonds are forever, sparkling round my little finger. Unlike men, the diamonds linger. Men are mere mortals who are not worth going to your grave for. I don't need love, for what good will love do me? Diamonds never lie to me, for when love's gone, they last on. Diamonds are forever, forever, forever. Diamonds are forever, 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 forever. And
Now the question is, where do you find a pangolin in the wild? Well, I started out by looking on the internet, and I got some hints. One of my favorite sites is TripAdvisor, and TripAdvisor allowed me to zero in on a particular place. Well, it helped me zero in on a particular place called Tswalu. Tswalu means something like new beginnings, new birth, something like that. Anyway, there I found a number of reviews by people who had done safaris, and they said there were pangolin in this area. In fact, quite a few of the reviews mentioned them. I've got one in front of me. This was written in November of last year, and it says, "We visited Tswalu to celebrate a big birthday and a milestone anniversary. We couldn't have found a better place." From arrival at the Fireblade hangar in Joburg, that is Johannesburg or Johannesburg Airport, and through our whole stay at Motse, which is the name of the lodge, the welcome and service we received was excellent. Rudy, our guide, and William, our tracker, when you land at Tswalu, they give you your own guide and tracker. Couldn't have planned a better day for my birthday. Over 2 game drives, we saw 11 different cheetahs and followed the wild dogs on a hunt when they first took a warthog for the puppies, and then plowed into a herd of about 200 eland, which scattered in all directions, kicking up a dust cloud that made the whole experience reminiscent of a Mad Max movie. The excitement was amazing as the dogs took a young eland and certainly had the adrenaline pumping. To finish the day, and this is the point, we had dinner out on the dunes together with a birthday cake and then an amazing chance to see a pangolin that the trackers had been tracking for a couple of hours. So these people did see a pangolin. And then later on in the day, they saw 4 white rhino, 5 black rhino, and the black-maned lions that they have out on this particular part of the Kalahari. And they walked with meerkats. Pretty good for one day. And then in the evening, it says, we had also hoped to see an aardvark, which after the pangolin was probably being a bit greedy, but Rudy and William took us out late one evening, and once again we were not disappointed as we eventually saw not only an aardvark, but also an aardwolf. Now, you'll remember that aard means earth, vark means pig in Afrikaans, and aardwolf is an earth wolf. It's actually not a wolf at all. It's really a type of hyena. But those words come out of the Afrikaans language. The Afrikaans language is basically a type of Dutch. Remember, the Dutch settled in the Cape Colony, in Cape Town, and they were the original settlers there hundreds of years ago, and a lot of people still speak this form of Dutch called Afrikaans. Well, I looked, and last year alone, there are 11 reviews that look very much like this, which mention specifically seeing pangolin. So I figured this is the place to go. Tswalu is west of Johannesburg, or Johannesburg if you prefer that pronunciation, south of Botswana, just barely though. It's still in the Kalahari Desert. It's where that little red tick mark is, and it's to the southeast of Namibia. But it happens to be near Kimberley. And now we're going to digress a little bit to talk about Kimberley, but we'll be coming back to Tswalu. You have almost certainly heard of Kimberley, and the reason is because those are where the diamond mines were that made South Africa famous in that area. Cecil Rhodes, the founder of the British South African Company, got his start by renting water pumps to miners during the diamond rush that started in 1869. When a 83.5 carat diamond called the Star of South Africa was found at Hope Town, just south of Kimberley, near the Orange River in South Africa. He invested the profits of this operation into buying up claims of small mining operators, with his operation soon expanding into a separate mining company. And he soon secured the funding from the Rothschild family, who would finance his business expansion. De Beers Consolidated Mines was formed in 1888 by a merger of several companies, including the one by Cecil Rhodes, by which time the company was the sole owner of all diamond mining operations in the country. In 1889, Rhodes negotiated a strategic agreement with the London-based Diamond Syndicate, which agreed to purchase a fixed quantity of diamonds at an agreed price, thereby regulating the output and maintaining prices. That agreement was very successful. But in 1898, diamonds were also discovered on farms near Pretoria, Transvaal. One led to the discovery of the Premier Mine. When Rhodes died in 1902, De Beers controlled 90% of the world's diamond production. The Premier Mine was registered in 1902, and the Culligan diamond, the largest rough diamond ever discovered, was found there in 1905. The Premier Mine was renamed the Culligan Mine in 2003. However, its owner refused to join the De Beers cartel. Instead, the mine started selling to a pair of independent dealers. thereby weakening the De Beers stronghold. Production in the premier mine, the mines in Transvaal and German Southwest Africa, soon equaled all of De Beers' mines combined. Ernest Oppenheimer was appointed the local agent for the powerful London Syndicate. Remember that name, Oppenheimer, because he rises to the position of mayor of Kimberley within 10 years, and Oppenheimer was very concerned about the discovery of mines in 1908 in German Southwest Africa. Fearing the increased supply would swamp the market and force prices down, he understood the core principle that underpinned De Beers' success, stating in 1910 that common sense tells us the only way to increase the value of diamonds is to make them scarce, that is, to reduce production. The premier mine was absorbed into De Beers, and Ernest Oppenheimer became the chairman of the company in 1929. In 1957, Harry Oppenheimer, Ernest's son, inherited the company. And this is where we tie Tswalu, the place that I'm going to, into De Beers. This man was the former chairman of De Beers. No, not Putin, the guy that Putin is talking with. As a matter of fact, when I look at Putin's face, it looks to me as though he's saying to himself, why am I talking to this person? And the reason that he's talking to this person is because it's Nicky Oppenheimer, the second most wealthy man in all of Africa. In 1982, Nicholas Oppenheimer inherited De Beers, but it has not done well since the 80s. The fact is that the De Beers company used to control the diamond business, but it doesn't do that anymore. They had 90% of the market in the 80s, but that dropped to 33% of the market in 2013. It's not entirely Nicky's fault. In 2011, Nicky Oppenheimer sold De Beers for $5 billion. That's billion with a B. Nicky Oppenheimer was valued by Forbes recently at $7.7 billion. Now, a few years ago, some folks got together and decided they'd figure out how long it'd take to spin that, and they figured it'd take 18 years if you spent $1 million a day. Tswalu is South Africa's largest private reserve. To make this reserve, Nicky bought up 35 farms, totaling just almost 300,000 acres. This next little clip is what Nicky Oppenheimer says about Tswalu.
Flying in from either Cape Town or Johannesburg, you approach the malaria-free Tswalu Kalahari over the rugged Koronenberg Mountains. This is in the heart of the Northern Cape Province. Gracefully you touch down and arrive at the largest privately owned game reserve in South Africa. Over 1,000 square kilometers of Kalahari is waiting for you to explore. Tswalu means a new beginning in Tswana, a local indigenous language. Tswalu's luxury belies a serious conservation undertaking and a clear mission to restore the Kalahari to its ancient and natural self, an undertaking that the Oppenheimer family takes most seriously. Welcomed by your host, your next experience of the Kalahari is from your safari vehicle as you pass the curious creatures on your way to your luxury accommodation.
I was picked up at Johannesburg by the Oppenheimer Charter Air Service Fireblade. Most stories start out, it was a dark and stormy night. It wasn't dark and stormy, but it was bright and stormy, that is, windy, on the day that we left. And you can see the clouds kicking up in the background, clouds of dust. And we boarded the aircraft. They have several different types of aircraft, and they fly us directly from the airport, in this case Johannesburg, or it could have been Cape Town if I'd flown into there. And from this airport then we go to the Oppenheimer landing strip down at Tswalu. We're over Tswalu now, and in the distance, you can see the runway. That runway is 2 kilometers long, and it's asphalt. You could land bombers there. Well, just kidding. When you land, you're met at the airstrip by your tracker and guide and your safari vehicle. My safari vehicle was number 11, my guide was D, and my tracker was James, all of which were flawless. As a matter of fact, D actually knew where the plant Euphorbia's name came from. It was named after a Roman botanist and medical doctor, Euphorbius, who lived in North Africa. I often ask my guides to answer questions that I already know the answer to, so that I can see just exactly what it is that they know and what they don't know. And I very seldom tripped Dee up. She was very, very good. On the way to the lodge, night fell.